Our next lesson in math is called number skills. Go ahead and take out your notes. You don't have to get another sheet of paper. Just wherever you're at in your notes, go ahead and skip a space. And make sure you write today's date. Remember, I want your notes to be neat. Don't write in the margins. Number skills. Because if your notes are messy, then it's going to be very hard for you to go back later and review your notes. Okay? So let's talk about number skills. Our goals for this lesson are to recognize, use, and discriminate between cardinal and ordinal numbers, categorize numbers into common subsets, and review and practice arithmetic operations. Okay, let's look at our vocabulary words. And it's important that you memorize these, okay? I'm going to say a definition and then say the word. I want you to say the word after me, okay? Counting numbers are cardinal numbers. Say cardinal numbers. And you can remember that because they both start with C's. Cardinal counting, okay? Maybe that'll help you remember it. Okay, based on 10 as our number system is decimal. A symbol consisting of 3 parts, a horizontal bar, a whole number above the bar, and a whole number other than 0 below the bar, is a fraction. Okay, you have a set with negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers. They are called integers. Okay? You have numbers, you have a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Those are your natural numbers. Okay? So that means that your natural numbers and your cardinal numbers are the same thing. They both start with 1, right? Okay. Okay, first, second, third, etc. These are called ordinal numbers. And if you think about that, if you put it in order, maybe that will help you remember it. Ordinal numbers. Like if you get in line your first, your second, your third, you're in order. Those are ordinal numbers. Okay. If I have a set that starts with 0 and continues 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., those are your whole numbers. Okay. This should be review. Because your previous math classes have taught about these different types of numbers. Okay. So let's look at this. Number types. Okay, we have natural or counting numbers. Remember, they're the same thing. I'm going to abbreviate the word numbers. And they start with 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's a horrible parenthesis, isn't it? See if I can fix it. Kind of looks like a 3. Oh. Okay. Now, if we have this set but we add a 0 before it, these are called whole numbers. If you get mixed up here on counting numbers, just count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, those are your counting numbers. Your whole numbers, I always think of this O right here in whole. You start with 0 and count. Okay? If it starts with 0, then it's your whole numbers. If it doesn't have a 0, then it's your counting numbers. Okay? And then we have fractions and decimals. your fractions and decimals. Obviously, you either have to have a fraction or you have to have a decimal point. Then we talk about integers. Integers include your negative numbers. -2, -1, 0, 1. Okay. The number illustrated right here are also called real numbers. All of these are real numbers. Certain roots are also called real numbers because they can be represented on a real number line. So right now you've learned how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So problems in this unit will help you practice your skills with these operations. Okay, so we talked about the different types of numbers. Now let's review a few other things. We need to remember the hyphen. Okay, that's a hyphen. We use a hyphen to join tens and ones. Tens and ones. And an example of that would be, if you're writing it in words, 20-1. Okay? Okay. And then remember the comma. And a comma looks like that. We use a comma between, I call them our comma words, between millions. Well, after millions, we'll have a comma. Thousands. After millions and after thousands. Okay. There's a few other things, just basic reminders that we've already talked about. The word and means decimal point. Okay. The only time we say the word and is if we mean a decimal point. Okay. Okay. Alright, so let's look at some of these problems. Okay. We said we use a hyphen to join tens and ones, like 21, 53. We use a comma. I call them, after our comma words. Million, we use commas after the millions place and after the thousands place. And the word and means a decimal point. Okay? Okay, now let's look at some of these problems. Let's look at number 1. Number 1 says pencils are equal in value to 2 rulers. Okay. So let me write this down. 6 pencils, and it's talking about the price, okay, equals 2 rulers. Okay, remember, we're talking about price, okay? And it says one ruler is equal in value to 2 erasers. 2 erasers. Okay. So it wants to know 12 pencils are equal in value to how many erasers? Okay. Well, do you know what to do? Well, let's look up here. How many erasers? We have 6 pencils are equal to how many erasers? 6 pencils equal 2 rulers. So I need 2 of these. 1 ruler is 2 erasers. So the second ruler is 2 more erasers. Okay, so 6 pencils equals 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 erasers. So 6 more pencils equals 4 more erasers. Okay, so let's look. Now we have 12 pencils equals how many erasers? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should have come up with 8. Okay. Now number 1 also wants to know, I'm going to erase this because I'm running out of room. It says 2 erasers, so 2 erasers are equal in value to how many pencils? Blank pencils. See if you can figure it out. Alright, let's look at it. We have 6 pencils, which I did this a minute ago, I guess. 6 pencils equals 2 rulers. Each ruler is 2 pencils, right? So here's 1 ruler is 2 pencils. So another ruler is 2 pencils. Erasers. 1 ruler is 2 erasers. Another ruler is 2 erasers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 pencils equals 4 erasers, right? But this says 2 erasers. So how do I get from 2 erasers to 4 erasers? To get from 4 to 2, I have to divide. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So if I divide this by 2, I have to divide this by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay? So 2 erasers equals 3 pencils. You kind of getting the hang of this? Okay. Now, still on number 1. Number 1 says, if you don't know how to do this, draw a picture. Whatever you need to do to figure it out. Now, number 1 says 1 ruler, and 4 erasers equal the value of, so I'm just going to put equals, how many pencils? Blank pencils. Well, let's see. Let's do one at a time. 1 ruler is how many pencils? Well, 2 rulers is 6 pencils. So how do I get from 2 to 1? 2 divided by 2. And if I divide this one by 2, I have to divide this one by 2. So what's 6 divided by 2? Well, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I know this is 3 pencils. Okay? So 1 ruler is 3 pencils. Now how many? 4 erasers is how many pencils? Erase this. Well, we just said on the very first problem that losing my train of thought here. I mean the last one we did. 2 erasers are equal to how many pencils? Well, we just said that 2 erasers were equal to 3 pencils. Okay? Remember on your last problems you said 2 erasers are equal to 3 pencils. So how many are 4 erasers? Well, if this is 2 erasers, to get to 4 I have to multiply this by 2, right? And if I multiply this times 2, I have to multiply this times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. So this is 6 pencils. That's 6 pencils. And means plus. 3 plus 6 is 9. That one's a little more tricky, wasn't it? Okay, let's look at number 3. Okay, number 3 says, write a number in the blank to make the statement true. Each month, the stock decreased in value. Okay. Okay, each month, stock, I'm going to put a down arrow. It decreased in value. Okay. January, it was worth, okay, it says on January 1st, it was worth $8,474. Okay. March 1st, it was worth $3,323. And it said during February, the value decreased $1,621. So what did it decrease by in January? Okay. What did it decrease by in January? Well, it started here and it ended here, right? If it's decreasing, that means the value is going down. So how much was it at the end of February? Let's do it this way. There are several different ways that you could do this. From here to here, if it's decreasing, that means let's subtract it, okay? So if I have 8,474 minus 3,000 323. Let's subtract it, okay? 4 minus 3 is 1. 7 minus 2 is 5. 4 minus 3 is 1. 8 minus 3 is 5. Okay. This is how much it decreased altogether. Okay? That's January and February. Well, we know that this was February. So if we get rid of this, then the rest of it's going to be January, right? So let's subtract it. Minus 1,621. Okay? 1 minus 1 is 0. 5 minus 2 is 3. Let's borrow. 11 minus 6 is 5. 4 minus 1 is 3. So you should have came up with $3,530. Okay. Let's do one more together, and then I'll let you go ahead and try some of these on your own, okay? Let's do number 11. Number 11 says, now whenever you have word problems, look for the key words, okay? Write a number in the blank to make the statement true. The bookcase has 9 shelves. So bookcase has 9 shelves. It's supposed to be an S. And it says each shelf had exactly 23 books on it. Each shelf had 23 books. Okay, what is your key word? Your key word is each. Let's underline it. What does each mean? Each always means times or divide. Okay? So if you see the word each, you're not going to add or subtract. You're always going to either multiply or divide. Okay. So if I say the bookcase has 9 shelves, each shelf has 23 books, how many books are there? You know, how many books? Let's look at the largest number. Is my answer going to be more than 23 or less than 23? If the bookcase has 9 shelves and each shelf has 23 books, am I going to have more than 23 books or less than 23 books? Well, I'm going to have more. So I know in this problem I have to multiply, right? Okay, so let's multiply 23 times 9. And you're allowed to use your calculator. The goal of this class is to make sure you know what formula to use, not necessarily your math skills, even though that's a good idea too. You are allowed to use your calculator. 3 times 9 is 27. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So you should have come up with 207 books. Okay? Alright. Okay. Go ahead and do the odds. You don't have to do the evens. Just go ahead and do the odds. And let me see your notes.